There is a Japanese rule that makes any cat love you, and it has nothing to do with treats, toys, or any trick you have ever been taught. The specific behavioral principle you are about to discover rewires the entire way you understand feline connection. And at the end of this video, there is a small behavioral test you can try with your cat tonight that will tell you exactly where your bond currently stands. Most people are failing their cats without knowing it. Not out of cruelty, out of love. That is the trap. In Western culture, affection is expressed through pursuit, through reaching, through making contact and calling it closeness. You pick up a child who is crying, you hug a friend who is hurting, you move toward the people you love. This is the human script, written in your biology, and it is quietly destroying your relationship with your cat. Here is the piece no one talks about. You and your cat are not the same kind of social animal. You never were. Humans evolved inside tight family structures where touch and eye contact were the currency of belonging. Your cat evolved from a lineage of solitary hunters where direct eye contact from a stranger was not a greeting. It was a declaration. Picture this moment. You have a friend visiting. They walk through your door and immediately spot your cat across the room. They say, in that high, excited voice people use, "Oh my gosh, a cat!" And they walk straight over. They crouch down. They reach out their hand. They stare directly into your cat's eyes with a wide, bright, eager face. Your cat disappears under the bed. Your friend looks confused, maybe a little hurt, and they say the words that almost every non-cat person has said at least once, "I don't understand. Cats just never like me." But here is what actually happened. Decoded, your friend's approach was not warmth. From a feline neurological standpoint, the sequence looked like this. Fast approach, sustained eye contact, extended limb moving into personal space. Your cat's brain did not register affection. It registered predator entry protocol. 3 threat markers fired in under 2 seconds. This is the primate and predator divide, and most people never learn it exists. Primates, and humans are primates, use direct gaze to signal attention, interest, and social safety. It is how we communicate. I see you. You matter. I am present. Researchers studying human bonding found that even strangers who maintain sustained eye contact for just a few minutes report feelings of deep connection. For us, the stare is the bridge. For a cat, it lands completely differently. Feline social structure, even in fully domesticated breeds, carries the genetic echo of solitary territorial hunters. In that world, a fixed stare from another animal served one purpose: calculating the distance before the attack. The lateral nucleus of the amygdala, the fear-processing hub in feline neurology, responds with dramatically increased firing rates during periods of anticipatory threat. And what triggers anticipatory threat? A sustained, unmoving gaze paired with a body moving closer. Think carefully about what that means. Every time you have looked your cat in the eyes and slowly walked toward them, trying to show love, their brain has been firing patterns it reserves for incoming danger. You were not connecting. You were activating a 4,000-year-old survival response. And the cat you keep calling distant or cold or not a people cat, they were never any of those things. They were reading a language you did not know you were speaking. Here is what genuinely surprises people. Research into feline social cognition found that cats possess what scientists call social referencing ability, the capacity to look back and forth between a problem and a human caregiver, using that person as a gauge for how to respond. This behavior was previously thought to be unique to dogs and human infants. Your cat watches you constantly, measuring microsignals, running a silent, continuous assessment of whether you represent safety or stress. Advanced communication. Most of us have been answering it with the wrong vocabulary entirely. Does that shift something for you? Does it bring to mind a specific moment when your cat pulled away and you could not understand why? If you have ever felt that gap between how much you love your cat and how much they seem to let you in, tell us in the comments right now. Drop your cat's name and how old they are. We want to know who you are doing this for. Before cats were companions, they were hunters. And before they were hunters, the feline lineage spent millions of years not at the top of every food chain, but navigating it carefully. The African wildcat, Felis libica, the direct ancestor of your domestic cat, was not only a predator, it was prey, small enough to be taken by eagles, hyenas, and larger cats, solitary enough that there was no group to warn it, no herd to scatter from danger. That history lives in every cat alive today, including yours, including the one currently asleep on your sofa. What this produced was a nervous system built for precision threat detection rather than social resilience. A dog that has been startled will often recover quickly when their human reassures them. The pack instinct kicks in. The group provides the signal that danger has passed. A cat, without that ancestral pack structure, can only rely on its own read of the environment. Every unusual movement gets cataloged. Every direct stare gets processed as potential intent. Researchers studying predator-prey dynamics and felid behavior identified this as the predatory threat response, a survival mechanism so deeply encoded that even generations of domestication have not unwired it. A personality flaw? No. Biological architecture that kept their ancestors alive. Now here is where things get practically useful. Ethologists studying feline behavior arrived at a counterintuitive finding through predator-prey research. The most effective way to reduce a cat's threat response is deliberate non-engagement. When a person enters a cat's space without directing any attention toward the animal, the amygdala begins to downregulate. The threat assessment system shifts from active scanning to passive monitoring. And passive monitoring, in behavioral terms, is where curiosity begins. Japanese cat culture, visible in the cat cafes of Tokyo and island communities like Tashirojima, known internationally as Cat Island, built an informal tradition around exactly this instinct. Not as a formal science, but as generations of lived observation. You do not pursue a cat. You become interesting enough that it pursues you. The behavioral science that arrived later simply confirmed what patient, quiet people had understood for a long time. Behavioral scientists describe a related phenomenon as the attention void. When a cat enters a room and finds that nobody is angling for their attention, a shift happens. The cat stops being a target and starts being an observer. And from that observer position, cats frequently become the ones who initiate contact. A cat choosing to approach is a completely different neurological event than a cat tolerating an approach. One activates safety circuits. The other keeps threat circuits warm and humming. Think about that cat at the party, the one who gravitates straight to the person not trying to pet them, usually someone who is allergic and pointedly ignoring the animal. That person is not doing something magical or mysterious. They are sitting still, not staring, not reaching. And the cat reads every single one of those non-behaviors as a green light, not random. Your cat being completely logically rational. Hit the like button right now if you have ever been the person trying hard to get the cat's attention while someone else gets chosen without even trying. That one moment contains the entire lesson of this video. There is a reason cats can sleep in the same room as someone and make that person feel more trusted than the one who spent 20 minutes trying to hold them. Shared silence in feline social culture carries weight that touch simply cannot replicate early in a relationship. For humans, silence in the presence of another person often signals disconnection. We fill it. We talk. We touch. We ask questions because silence feels like something has gone wrong. But a cat who chooses to stay in your vicinity without engaging, resting across the room, watching the window, existing in your orbit, is running one of the most meaningful social calculations in their behavioral repertoire. Sleep is the clearest version of this. A sleeping animal is a completely exposed animal. When your cat dozes in the same room as you, they have temporarily suspended their entire threat detection system in your presence, filed you under safe enough to be unconscious around. Most owners would rather have their cat on their lap, but that sleeping posture across the room in many cases comes first and carries more information about how the bond is actually developing. This process runs through what behavioral scientists call visual micro-comforting. Here is what that looks like in practice. Cats perform brief, low-intensity visual checks of their environment continuously. Short glances, soft blinks, a slow rotation of the ears toward a sound, and then back to neutral. When a cat looks at you during one of these checks and then looks away calmly, without freezing or flattening their ears or dilating their pupils, you have just been assessed and cleared. They saw you, decided you were not a threat, moved on. Most people miss this entirely because it looks like nothing is happening. Something is absolutely happening. Think about music for a moment. Not the notes themselves, but the space between them. A song with no silence, no breath, no pause between sounds is not music. It is noise. The pause is where meaning lives, where the listener feels something. Your cat understands this instinctively. The space you create by not filling every moment with reaching and calling and trying, that space is not emptiness. It is an invitation their nervous system can finally read clearly. Researchers at the University of Sussex published findings showing that cats who received slow blinks from humans were significantly more likely to approach a stranger afterward compared to cats who received a neutral expression. The slow blink is not just endearing. It replicates the micro-comfort signal cats exchange with each other, communicating an absence of predatory tension. No agenda, no calculation, just calm presence. And when you look at a cat, and then gently look away, not dismissively but softening your attention, you are sending a specific signal their nervous system understands immediately. You are not cataloging their weaknesses. You are not calculating anything. You are present and you are at ease, and those two things together are rarer than most cat owners realize. The bond does not begin when your cat lets you touch them. It begins in these nearly invisible exchanges, blink by blink, glance by glance, quiet afternoon by quiet afternoon. Most owners skip straight to physical contact and wonder why the emotional closeness never fully arrives. The emotional layer is already being built. The cat is doing the math every single time they look at you and choose to stay. Watch what happens the next time your cat glances over and looks away. Do not call their name. Just blink slowly, once, and return to what you were doing. That is a full sentence in their language, delivered correctly. So what does all of this actually look like in a real home with a real cat starting tonight? The floor-level technique is exactly what it sounds like, and the simplicity is the entire point. You go to where your cat is, not to pick them up, not to pet them. You sit or lie down on the floor nearby, 5 or 6 feet away, and you do something completely ordinary. Read. Watch your phone with the sound low. Exist. You have removed the height differential that makes you a large, looming presence in their world, and you have entered the shared horizontal plane where cats conduct most of their social lives. This one physical adjustment changes how your cat reads you almost immediately. You are no longer a tall, unpredictable shape reaching downward from above. You are a horizontal shape at their level. Ordinary. Familiar. The kind of shape their nervous system, over thousands of years of living alongside humans, has learned to categorize as non-threatening. And here is what most people misunderstand about why this works. The goal is not to eventually pet the cat. The goal is to be there until nothing special is happening. Until your presence is so unremarkable that your cat forgets to monitor it. That shift from tracked presence to background safety is trust being deposited somewhere you cannot directly observe, but that absolutely accumulates. Behavioral researchers call this passive parallel play, and it is the foundation of every deep feline bond ever formed, including between cats themselves. Watch 2 bonded cats living together. They do not spend all day pressed against each other. One grooms. One watches the window. They nap on opposite ends of the couch and do their own separate things. But every few minutes they run those quiet visual checks on each other and come back clean. No threat registered. Bond maintained. The relationship lives not in the dramatic moments, but in the accumulated weight of hundreds of ordinary ones spent in the same space without anything going wrong. You can build that deliberately. Starting today, and then, one day, likely when you are not paying attention, it happens. Your cat walks across the room and bumps the side of their head into your hand, presses their cheek against your knee, weaves between your legs once and then settles nearby, tail curled around their feet, watching you with half-closed eyes. That behavior has a name, bunting. Cats have scent glands along their cheeks, forehead, and chin. When they rub those areas against you, they are depositing their own scent, placing you inside their olfactory map of the world in the same category as their most trusted safe spaces, the corners they return to, the spots where they feel most fully themselves. You are not just liked, you are claimed. When that moment comes, resist the urge to grab them or make a sound. Press gently back into the bunt. Let your forehead or cheek meet theirs for just a second. Breathe. You just received the equivalent of a key to their home. They open the door themselves. When a cat looks at you and registers genuine safety, their entire body announces it. The tail, if upright, develops a soft hook at the tip. The eyes slow down and go warm. The spine releases. And if you have done this work, the floor sitting, the averted gaze, the shared silence, the slow blinks, you will eventually see something that reframes how you understand this animal for the rest of your life. They will choose you. Not because you made them, because you became someone worth choosing. No training system manufactures that. No treat shortcut reaches it. Researchers have established that cats form genuine attachment bonds with their owners, using them as what attachment scientists call a secure base, the same framework used to describe the bond between human infants and their caregivers. Your cat does not want pure independence. They want selective trust extended carefully to the right person. You can be that person. Maintaining the bond is its own ongoing practice. Consistency matters more than grand gestures. Respect for their communication signals matters every day, not just at the beginning. Even on days when your cat does not come to you, they are still watching, still running assessments, still deciding. Give them the same unhurried, undemanding presence in year 5 that you gave them in month 1. The cats who stay deeply bonded to their humans for 10, 15, 20 years are not bonded because of one extraordinary moment. They are bonded because something ordinary happened consistently. A calm presence. A slow blink returned. A floor-level afternoon that asked for nothing and offered everything. Before you go, and if this opens something in how you see your cat, please subscribe now so you never miss what comes next on Mindful Felines. Here is your behavioral test for tonight. Find your cat when they are awake but relaxed. Sit or lie down about 4 feet away. Do not call their name. Do not reach toward them. Simply settle in, get calm, and wait. When your cat looks directly at you, and they will, narrow your eyes gently into a soft squint and blink slowly, once or twice. Then look away, somewhere neutral. The floor, the wall. Wait. Stay still. If your cat slow blinks back, you are already in their inner circle. If they begin moving toward you within the next few minutes, you just cleared the trust threshold. If they simply look away calmly without freezing or retreating, that is still a pass. You were filed under safe, and that is the ground floor everything else is built on. And if they fall asleep near you while this is happening, you are not just liked. You are home.